Hey everyone, it's Lindsay. So I wanted to take a little bit of time and do a frequently asked questions about PCOS. And so that's what today's vlog will be about. And first of all, I want to say if you are someone with PCOS, right there with you, girlfriend, it's definitely proven to have its challenges, but I have actually, after several years of being officially diagnosed with it, I have found that it can be manageable. You just have to stay consistent. And consistency is, as far as consistency in like health supplements and things like that, is an area where I really, really, really struggle. So, sit down, hang out, chat with me, and we will address some of those questions. So one of the first questions is, what are the symptoms of PCOS? The most common symptoms are ovarian cysts, high levels of testosterone. Yes, ladies, we can have testosterone in our bodies. Crazy, I know. With as much estrogen as we have, we actually do have some level of testosterone. And PCOS or one of the symptoms of PCOS is high levels of testosterone. Absent or irregular periods, weight gain, and difficulty losing weight. Also, one that's not mentioned on here, I know that you can be underweight and still have PCOS. So obesity and all that kind of stuff is not a tell-all, I guess, when it comes to like a PCOS symptom. Thinning scalp, excess facial and body hair, particularly around the jawline. I have noticed around the jaw, and also like for me, on the back of my hands, which is kind of weird. Difficulty conceiving, cystic acne, skin tags, and dark velvety skin. I know that when it says dark velvety skin, a lot of times people are like, what in the world? What is that about? Sometimes you can get like little patches. Like I know some other women with PCOS, they can get like just portions of their skin that is just a different color and it looks kind of weird. Like the pigmentation is off. And skin tags, I have a skin tag right here up above my eye. I don't know. There's a mirror behind the camera, so I'm like looking. Anyway, I have skin tags up here. I've had skin tags on my hands that actually the skin tags on my hands have kind of fallen off, which is also kind of odd. But I do know for me, the acne, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the acne for me is a really, really, really big issue. I have tried so many different products. It's insane. I think my husband's tired of all the different bottles and things of stuff laying around and different face masks and lotions and toners and all that I have tried to try to get rid of my acne. Most of the, what am I trying to say? Your diet. Most of the acne that you do have can be controlled with your diet. Based on my experience, I noticed that when I do eat healthier and cleaner and drink more water, I don't have as many breakouts. But regardless of how often I keep my pillowcase changed, I tone, I moisturize, I cleanse, I exfoliate, all of that, regardless of how much of that I do, I will still have major breakouts and cystic acne. And that a lot of that is due to my PCOS. Another big thing is depression and anxiety. Women with PCOS, I think I read somewhere, are like 30% more likely to have postpartum depression after becoming a mom. And I know that I didn't necessarily have postpartum depression, but I did experience a lot of baby blues after having my daughter. And it wasn't because I didn't love her, or it wasn't because I wasn't grateful and thankful to be a mom. It was just hormones. I mean, it is a chemical imbalance in your body. And when you allow that to just keep going without doing anything about it, it does affect your mental state. So those are the most common symptoms of PCOS. So what exactly is PCOS? PCOS is an endocrine disorder within a female's body. It affects her reproductive system, her thyroid, her pretty much everything. When your hormones are off in your body, it really does affect pretty much everything. Is PCOS life-threatening? Well, not exactly. PCOS, according to PCOSAA.org, PCOS can be associated with a number of serious medical conditions. PCOS is frequently associated with decreased sensitivity to insulin, which in turn may lead to an increased risk of adult onset diabetes. I don't know that next word. Mellitus, maybe? Stroke and cardiovascular disease. PCOS can also be associated with uterine and endometrial cancers. How many women are affected by PCOS? It is estimated, again, according to PCOSAA.org, it is estimated that approximately 7 million women in the United States and 10 million women worldwide suffer from PCOS. So again, if you have PCOS, you're not alone. I know it feels like that, but you're not. There are a lot of us that are fighting the same battle, and together we can fight for a cure, we can fight for our confidence, we can fight for just our self-worth in general. We can do this together. What causes PCOS? Well, a lot of times PCOS, in my research and experience, a lot of times it's genetic. It's not something that you can catch from somebody else. A lot of times it's just an imbalance that's present in your body, and it can be triggered by multiple different things. How do you know if you have PCOS? The best way to find out and to determine if you have PCOS is to consult with your doctor, and a full hormone panel will probably need to be done to check your triglycerides, your cholesterol, your glucose level, all that kind of stuff. And also an ultrasound. An ultrasound of your ovaries can determine if you do have ovarian cysts. Is there a cure? At present, there is no cure for PCOS, but there are ways to treat and to manage your symptoms. Diet and exercise being the most important. Your diet and your exercise level can absolutely help with those levels, those chemical imbalances in your body. I know that I notice that when I eat healthier, more greens, more lean meats and things like that, I just feel better. I am terrible. I will be perfectly honest. I am terrible at exercising. I don't like it. It makes me get all nasty and sweaty, and I don't like it. I don't like to exercise. But I do notice that when I find a routine that I enjoy, which most of the time will include some type of yoga or cardio, I do feel a lot better. I notice it doesn't necessarily immediately help my symptoms. I don't think there's any kind of immediate relief to any of the PCOS symptoms that I particularly have. But I do notice that I feel better overall when I do keep up a consistent exercise routine. How do you deal with PCOS when you lead such a busy life? That's a really good question. PCOS is no respecter of schedules. It's no respecter of persons. It's just a disorder. It's a syndrome. It's something that can affect anyone. And the way that I cope with it, the way that I deal with it, I thankfully, after having my daughter, I've not had the amount of pain that I had experienced prior to having my daughter. I don't know if my pregnancy had something to do with it, or if my hormones have just changed that much since having my daughter. But prior to having my daughter, the pain was intense. Now, having been through labor and been through delivery and all of that, I can honestly say that at times the level of my discomfort and cramping and things like that was right on up there with active labor. It was very painful. I know I had cysts that would rupture, and that was incredibly painful. Thankfully, none of my cysts ever required surgery of any kind. I've never had to be hospitalized for anything as far as that goes, so I've been very fortunate in that aspect. But as far as like the excess hair growth, tweezers and wax, I mean, I don't really know. The excess hair growth for me is particularly like not throughout the ends of my eyebrows. You probably can see that my eyebrows growth, like they're thick right through here, and then they're just like thin. They like drop off. And that is a big hormone related issue. But right through here especially, I have to tweeze probably every day or every other day for sure, because right through here I get the worst unibrow. Thankfully my hair isn't too dark, so I can get away with it if I just don't have time or if I forget or whatever. But along my chin and along my jawline especially is where I have the excess hair growth. And really honest, to be honest, tweezers are my best friend when it comes to that kind of thing. My other symptoms being the lightheadedness, the dizziness, the just sudden onset nausea and things like that. You just learn how to cope. I know peppermint helps me a lot when I start to feel just kind of sick at my stomach. Actually eating more often throughout the day has helped a lot. My blood sugar doesn't get too terribly high. It stays pretty well balanced for the most part, but there are times when it will just all of a sudden pop up or whatever, or it will tank really, really low. And I noticed that by eating more often throughout the day, smaller portions, but more often throughout the day, it does help to keep that all in sync. Something else that I do notice that has changed is my hair texture. My hair has always been super, super, super fine. It's always been very, very fine. It slips out of everything. Even now, it still, to some extent, is kind of crazy and it has a mind of its own. But the texture of my hair, since dealing with more intense symptoms of PCOS, has changed in that the texture is not as fine, but it is thin. It's definitely thin. I know that when my hair is wet and I'm kind of like tilted to the side with my hair down, you can like see straight through it. Like it's thin. It just is. And to make it look more full, I have to put a lot of hairspray and product and stuff like that in my hair, just to have some kind of texture to it so it will fluff up a little bit and not be as flat to my head. What is some advice that you would give someone that has been recently diagnosed with or thinks they have PCOS? First of all, if you think you have PCOS, absolutely consult with your doctor. The sooner that you get a hold of those symptoms and get ahead of those symptoms, the better. You don't want to spend, like I did, several years with horrible symptoms and then not do anything about it and realize that you could have prevented things from happening had you taken care of yourself properly to begin with. I believe that our bodies are temples. I believe that, we should take care of ourselves and we should take care of the body that God has given us. And if we want His Spirit to live and dwell with us, then we need to take care of the body that He's given us. So, He wants to. So anyway, I would advise, if you have been recently diagnosed with PCOS, it's not a death sentence. I know it may feel that way initially, but it's not. You can do this and you can get through this. There are so many. You heard me earlier. There are 7 million women in the United States alone that struggle with PCOS. So we're all in this together. We're all dealing with the same things, understanding that, there is not a cure, but there is a way to manage it. So absolutely get in touch with, if you look on Pinterest even, there's a lot of helpful recipes and exercise routines and things like that that can help you to jumpstart and to get a healthy lifestyle going for yourself. And that diet and exercise is going to be your best friend when it comes to dealing with PCOS related issues. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard, make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stick around for future videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we will talk to you guys later. Have a blessed day. Bye.